Hello. I'd like to talk about some recent tax policy proposals that are being considered by the Vermont legislature. My background is in tax. I was a tax attorney with PricewaterhouseCoopers. Before that, I studied tax law because that's what I studied, went to law school to do. I understand tax theory and policy, and what this position paper for the Tax Structure Committee or Council of Vermont, I forget the exact title, but what it's arguing is that they should expand the sales tax to services and to groceries. And the argument is that they will help poorer people by doing this. So the argument is that they will drop the tax, they will tax groceries, including bread and cakes and other things and pies that aren't currently taxed and have never been in Vermont. Also clothing and other things that have been historically regarded as necessities. And the bottom line is that a sales tax is regressive. It hurts the poor the most. And so this paper argues that they're going to help the poor because they're going to expand the base of the tax, and then they're going to redistribute it to the poor people, but they don't tell how. And as I write in an article I'm about to release, and that even a chicken could understand, there's a track record. Of course they never redistribute the money fairly. And if you look at the fine print of this proposal, it's going to add all kinds of administrative costs to businesses, while the government itself says about 15% of the money it collects will be lost in its administrative expenses. So it's like, well, we don't want these, we want to make sure these rich people don't get away with no tax, so we're going to take a big chunk of their wealth just to throw it away in administrative expenses so we can transfer some money that they will never transfer equitably. And so I point out from some other tax policy studies that in theory they could do it, but in practice nobody's done this. And they don't even propose in their 200-page almost document advocating to expand the sales tax. They don't even tell us how they're going to issue the credits in an equal way. They use big highfalutin ideological language while they spend pages and pages talking about tax policy to help rescue the climate from global warming, and saying that we shouldn't allow the government to have to choose what's a necessity in the sales tax. So instead they would have the government choose who necessarily gets a payment of the money they collect. Millions of dollars. The whole thing is justification to do things against the poor, the interests of the poor, that are regressive, in the name of the poor, saying to let us tax bread so that we can help poor people. That's how we're going to do it. What it really does is expand the base of taxation for the government. It doesn't, also if you look at the fine print, it won't actually reduce the overall sales tax as it says it will until it first reallocates wealth, which it doesn't tell us how it's going to do that. Everything about this is proposing why it's good for government, why it's going to help them with their base. And once they expand that tax base, of course they'll increase it. So I would have Vermonters look very hard and talk to their legislators about this, because all of these times in the interest of the poor, they're taking more money away. And also in this package, they want to tax electricity when currently they're already taxing it to subsidize electric panels against the interests of the poor without any recompense to the poor. They want to put another sales tax on top of that, and they talk about how great that's going to be to help the poor people. These people who write these things are so out of touch with the reality for regular people that we need to start reconnecting them with that reality. So thanks for joining me and my sheep, so that we won't be sheep before tax policies that are supposed to help the poor and do the opposite. Have a good day.